You are about to get the best lesson you have ever heard. 14 plus years ago, the kids and their stepmom came to me and wanted to get a dog. I really didn't want to, but they were quite persuasive, and I acquiesced as long as we would get a rescue dog. Less than 24 hours later, I'm sitting in the family room of a doggy foster mom named Susan. She had us sitting on a couch, bent over at the waist, kind of her arm dangling, looked like an elephant snout. And she was going to bring in Chi Chi to see if we would be a good fit for her. And I'll admit, I was getting kind of excited, and I'm expecting this chihuahua to come darting in and run around. But she didn't. She kind of came in crawling on her, we'll call it paws and knees. I'm like, dang, what's wrong with this dog? Of course, she crawled over to my hand. And what do people do when a dog crawls over to their hand? I raised my hand to pet her. At which point, she shrieked louder than I've ever heard anything shriek. It sounded like sheer terror. She rolled over on her back, shook, and peed. And I kind of immediately knew, man, this dog must have been badly abused. And I started tearing up. Like, how could someone be so mean? And it had been bought by a really rich family from a pet store window. And Susan kind of barked out to me. She was from New York. When you raised your hand to pet her, she thought you was waiting to hit her like her other family did 1,000 times. And man, I was brokenhearted. Susan saw my tears. The family was tearing up. We were just in shock. Someone could abuse a little animal. And there's some dark ass people out there. And, I knew from my own childhood, I always wanted someone to take my own pain away. So I wanted to take Chi Chi's pain away. And we agreed to rescue her. And Susan told us we had to keep one promise and one promise only. No matter how she behaved, all we were to do was give her love. I like single commands like that, and that single command will change your life. So we left and began our lives together, showered Chi Chi with love, bed, toys, awesome stuff, man. And she struggled to see it all through her own pain. And I know what that's like too. And she would usually reward us with not really wanting to walk, having accidents, and just quivering all of the time. Well, ultimately, in the middle of all this, my wife's father had died unexpectedly. And her last words to him, they weren't good ones. He had really strong addiction issues. And I didn't really know it when I married her that she had been in recovery for a very long time. And she fell back into her addiction pretty hard. And despite me full court pressing on love and the dog and her, plus two kids, the addiction won out and she was gone. And I'm sitting there going, how did it all go so south so quick? But the bigger issue was Chi Chi had this carrying purse, and I had to start bringing her to work with me every day. I owned a gym, and every day we'd come in, I'd open the purse in my office, and she would just kind of scamper under the desk, quiver, pee, and just be stuck there all day. It was very heartbreaking. And I would tell people I had a dog, and they'd want to try to get a look at her, but just same exact thing. And then the morning of my 40th birthday, I woke up and I'm like, why fucking me? And I went to gather Chi Chi to put her in her carrying purse, and I guess she sensed how much I was hurting inside, and she was laying in her own stuff. And I got to tell you, man, like, part of me wanted to hit her, but I didn't. I kept the promise. I could hear Susan's voice. I cleaned her up, put her in her purse. I go up the stairs to where my office was on the second floor suite, and I walked in, and I collapsed on the floor, and I truly, like, I thought I was never going to get up. I never hurt so much in my life. And when I kind of dropped to the ground, Chi Chi's purse was laying next to me, and it was kind of mesh on the sides. And she was staring at me through the purse, and I was like, I'll let her out here, she'll go scamper under the desk. But when I let her out of that purse, she jumped over and began licking my face and wagging her tail, and she kept hitting her head into my chest. And I grabbed her, and it was like a brand new dog. And she just kept licking my face. And I tell you what, it was exactly what I needed in that moment. And I truly understood the power of love better than I ever had. So if you're seeing this video and you've made it through this far, man, don't underestimate the power of love. Don't underestimate what people are going through in their lives, and just be that shining light. And the best part is, at that point, I'd see, probably like 200 people a day. They'd walk in the door, and she would run up and greet them every single time. And then she gets so tired from greeting so many people, she'd lay on one of the exercise mats, and we ultimately ended up calling her the Union Dog. And she lived for about 14 years until she died of brain cancer, really about last year, and led to us and getting Max the Shih Tzu. But all you can do is give love. And I built this channel to help people discover that in their lives and get to their dreams. I have no agenda besides helping you. And I've been through some shit in life. So please give us a follow.